my husband is an alcoholic. And one part of the lifestyle that I'm still learning to adapt to is that he surrounds himself with other alcoholics.
Whoa. Hold on. What?
Yeah.
How long have you been married?
We've been married about 2 years now, and we have 2 babies, so we kind of were quick with everything.
Okay, but you can't go forward with your husband being an alcoholic.
I know, and that's not even why I'm calling you. It's not even about him, but yeah, I'm seeking out counseling outside of this phone call to kind of talk through some of my marital issues and stuff. The alcoholism, it kind of seems fun at first. I know that sounds so stupid, but I've never been around alcoholics, so it's just like, oh, this party guy, he's so much fun, and then you get married and you have kids and you realize, like, okay, this isn't fun anymore. This is a huge burden. So yeah, but that's not even.
Just know this. Just know this.
Okay.
There will be absolutely no safety, healing, full connection with an addict in your home.
Mm-hmm.
Period.
Yeah.
Period.
Mm-hmm.
You can get all the counseling you want. You can get all the therapy you want. You can get all the whatever you want. But if you've got somebody struggling with alcoholism in your home, there will be no peace.
Yeah, I definitely haven't felt peace in a long time.
And I'm gonna do something that's mean, but it's the truth. Okay.
Okay.
Your kids are gonna grow up grasping at a ghost.
Mm-hmm.
What I mean by that is they're gonna see their dad. They're gonna hear their dad. But he will be numbed out to the good stuff and the bad stuff. And they will never be able to connect with him. Because he won't be there. There'll be a copy of a copy, right? It'll be like trying to hug somebody wrapped in saran wrap. You can never feel their skin.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's something that scares me to death. I want my kids to have the best life and the best parents. And he's a great guy. He just has a lot of trauma that he won't really talk to anybody about. So I think he just kind of drowns it away.
Okay.
But yeah.
But at some point, it's one of the parents' job. When one parent's struggling, it's one of the other parents' job to keep the kids safe.
Yeah, and I need to be their safety net. That's very obvious to me. So
not even their
I have
net.
a lot of work to do.
Not even their net, but sometimes you unfortunately have to pull down and grab a bow and arrow and a shield and go first too. You're not just catching them when they fall or getting knocked off because dad's drunk a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But also, I'm going to take you out of this situation because it's not safe for you. Neurologically, it's not safe for you. Physically, it's not safe for you emotionally.
Right.
And then husband's got to make some hard choices. I hate this for all of y'all. I hate it for him. I hate it for y'all. I hate it for those kids.
Thank you. Yeah. It's heavy and it's a lot, and it's something I feel like I can't be fully present at work or at home or anywhere because it's such a big stressor. And I just want to keep everybody happy and safe. And so I hate to go off on too much of a tangent because that's a really, really big can of worms to open, but what I wanted to ask you today is, and you may have just answered this passively, but his best friend in particular makes me very uncomfortable. He's a alcoholic. I guess I would consider my husband a bit more functioning. His best friend is not very functioning, and he comes around all the time. And I was wondering if I am justified in asking my husband to stop bringing him around me and my kids, or if it's something
absolutely
that I need to work on personally.
Absolutely 1,000%.
Okay.
That your house is in desperate need of boundaries. You are in desperate need of practicing setting boundaries and holding them. And you don't like to be unliked, and you don't like to when people are mad at you, do you?
No, I hate it.
I know you do. And yet you married somebody who struggles with alcohol, which means they're very volatile.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't know what version of them you're going to get, and you especially don't know what version of their friends you're going to get. And so you play whack-a-mole with your emotions and their emotions, and you stuff everything down so that everybody feels, quote-unquote, peace. It's not peace. It's numb. It's not real.
Right.
There's a difference between numb and peace.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have peace in your house.
No.
I would put my foot down because here's the other thing. You have somebody that's coming around that's in your words, not a functioning alcoholic, someone who's not safe, not well, says stupid stuff, vomits everywhere, falls down everywhere, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But tell me if I'm overhearing something. There's something in your gut that says, I don't want him around my kids.
That's exactly what it is. And he's never done anything
Doesn't matter.
super obvious.
Doesn't matter.
But it scares me. It scares me. And since having kids, just anybody drinking really, it puts my defenses up, and I really have a hard time letting people in. But it scares me to death that one day I'm going to turn my back and he's going to try to pick one of the babies up, or he's going to trip over them, or just anything. I don't know. It just scares me to death. And my husband doesn't get that. He just doesn't understand where I'm coming from at all. So yeah, it just scares me to death.
Okay. He is cashed out.
Mm-hmm.
Because he has chosen to hide his, and I'm not blaming him. He's just chosen to hide. He's chosen to disconnect his emotional regulation center. So you have to be the emotional regulation for the entire house.
Right.
And so when he's intoxicated, he is saying, I don't get a vote here.
Mm-hmm.
So you say, this person is not welcome at our house anymore.
Yeah.
And if you choose to bring him over, you are choosing to send us away, and I will take the kids and we will leave. And you, Meredith, have to have the courage to keep your kids safe and to pack them up and leave, even if that means going to a hotel. If that means going to your parents' house. That means going to his parents' house, wherever's the next safe place.
Yeah.
And when he throws a fit and acts like a child, you can say, you're not going to put my children at risk with your drinking, and especially with the people you bring to this house.
Mm-hmm.
Period.
Yeah. I've had that in my gut, for so long now. The idea that if he comes home drunk tonight, I'm taking the kids and leaving. Or if he brings his friend over tonight drunk, I'm taking the kids and leaving. And, it constantly plays in your head. And it's this constant reenactment in my head of what's going to happen and what I'm going to do. And I'm just waiting for that moment. So,
but listen.
Oh,
Brene Brown calls it dress rehearsing tragedy.
Mm-hmm.
You have thousands of imaginary conversations in your head that you're not having in real life.
Right.
The problem is every time you go down that road, your body spins up as though you're actually in it. So your body's fighting wars all day, every day. And that's why you're so tired.
Mm-hmm.
Just take action. And by the way, I think it's fair for you to lay it out for him when he's sober.
Okay.
Like, hey, we need to talk. And it's always better to do it at breakfast, not at nighttime. But some people don't do it. Whenever, lunch, breakfast, whatever. I'm going to say a few things, and I'm going to ask you to listen. No rebuttals, no fights. I'm going to ask you to listen.
Mm-hmm.
If you come home drunk again, you are sending me and your children away. That's a choice you are making, but we will not be here anymore when you're drunk. Number 2, if you bring somebody here, I will call the police and have the police come take this intoxicated person out of my home.
Right.
Or me and the kids will leave. I like option 1 better because I want the friend to think twice before coming to your house.
Mm-hmm. Right. And I've tried to make it so obvious, I will pack the kids up and go somewhere, and I won't come home until, I just feel like I can just put the kids in bed and, close the doors and try to make it obvious that I'm trying to stay away from them when they're drinking. And it's
Meredith,
not obvious
we're past
at
that.
all.
No,
Yeah.
They've numbed the obviousness.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a word, but they disconnect that when they start drinking.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
And so we're at a point where there's no more hem-hawing and no more, I hope he gets the message. Remember this statement, facts are your friends and clear is kind.
Okay.
Here's the truth. When you are intoxicated, you do X, Y, and Z. In my home, that ends now. Clear is kind. If you come home intoxicated, And if you punch a hole through the sheetrock again, or if you curse at me, or if you swing at me, or if you whatever, I will call the police 100% of the time.
Okay.
Fair?
Fair.
So I need you to hear me real careful. The marriage the image of the marriage you're trying to hold together is gone. It doesn't exist.
Yeah.
And I'm not telling you that to deflate you. I'm telling that to free you.
Yeah. Mhm. No, it's nice to hear it. Because
You're not crazy.
I know it's been gone, and I know I'm not able to save him. And I think that's what I wanted to do all along, is save him, because he has a lot of trauma and a lot of just a history of family, trauma and everything. And I think I've just wanted to save him this whole time. And reality hit me, probably a few months ago, that I'm not able to do that. I can't save somebody. They have to do it themselves, I guess. So yeah, it's a hard pill to swallow, because I do love him.
It is, of course. And he's lovable. He's probably amazing.
Yeah.
He just has demons.
Yeah.
And we all do, but his demons are powerful. They're strong. They're real.
Yeah.
And he's going to have to choose to stare him down and get the help of a 12-step community and walk through it. And that means he's going to lose some close friends. That means he's got to change his life up. And that's a tall order for anybody.
Right.
And I think it's important for you to tell him, the moment you decide to get clean, I will grab a sword and I will stand right next to you, and I'll charge the gates of hell with you.
Yeah.
But he needs to know that you're not leaving him. He is telling you to go. You get the difference?
Yes.
When you come home drunk, you are sending me away and your kids away. Please don't do that.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah, and didn't really think about it like that, but it is like he's sending me a message, that he's telling me that he's choosing alcohol over us, because that's what it's felt like ever since I started bringing it up, a year and a half ago. So, yeah.
Well, and think about it this way. That's one way to look at it, and I think that's a fair way to look at it. The way I tend to look at it now is somebody is in the throes of trying to survive right now.
Right.
And when you're trying to survive, using whatever coping strategy you need to survive, you're not in a place to be a parent. You're not in a place to be a connected, plugged-in co-creator of a romantic relationship and a marriage. You're surviving.
Right.
So I'm going to give you space to survive.
Yeah.
I love that question. Like, man, instead of, why are you drinking all the time? Like, dude, what is happening in your life on a day-to-day basis that alcohol is the best way you figured out how to do life?
Yeah.
How to survive. But the problem is you can't answer that, Meredith. Only he can.
Absolutely. And I listen to your show enough. I've asked him questions like that. But he's a big, strong man that doesn't like to talk about his emotions, right? So
I know.
I don't think I'm the one that's going to get that out of him. I think he needs, somebody else other than me. But I'm still going to try. I'm still there for him 100%.
Absolutely.
But yeah, it's just he doesn't want to open up to me. And I think there's a lot of demons there that he doesn't want to open up to me about.
And probably opening up got his head knocked off early on in his life.
Yeah.
It's probably being real safe.
He is.
And I bet you underneath alcohol, he's a pretty great guy, isn't he?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
There you go. And so he's worthy of being loved, and he was worthy of you trying to go rescue him. He really was. And I hate that you figured out, like, I don't have the strength or the tools, or it's not possible. And so that's my plea to him. That he's worth a different kind of life. And his kids are worth a dad who's plugged in, and his wife's worth a husband who's plugged in. And it's going to be hell to get there. But that journey's worth it. I've never met somebody who got sober who said, you know what? All this time with my kids and intimacy with my wife or my husband, I wish I was just drinking. I haven't met that person. I'm sure they exist, but I haven't met that person who's gone through the pain to get well. And on the other side, after they're spending time connected with their family, wish for disconnection. I've never met that person, but man, it's a hard road to walk. So my prayers are for this guy, man. And if he's listening, bro, I believe in you. Meredith, have him give me a call if he ever wants to. I'd love to talk to him. But it's time for you to set down your fear of being disliked and stand really tall and be a woman who protects her kids and be a woman who has boundaries and be a woman who understands that her safety and her health are the greatest gifts she can give both her husband and herself and her kids.